Mistake 4. High achievers mismanage strengths and weaknesses. High achievers mismanage strengths and weaknesses, both their own and those of their team members. And they do this in a number of ways. One, that they miss an opportunity to use all of their strengths to their fullest, both in terms of time and ability. And while this next one might sound contradictory, high achievers frequently overuse some of their strengths, which can tip them into weaknesses, particularly ones that have proved successful in the past. Rather than concentrating on building their strengths, they waste time developing their weaknesses. Their competitive nature can mean that they may overlook partnering with someone who has a strength in an area where they have a weakness. In this day and age, there is so much pressure on organizations, leaders, and individuals to do more, better, and in less time. So how do companies and leaders get more out of their employees? How can a high achiever be more competitive? Likewise, how can they engage their employees and help them deliver their best performance? The only way that one can do this is by leveraging strengths. If a person is using a natural strength, they have a competitive advantage over others to whom it's not a strength. Plus, using a strength is enjoyable. It's energizing. You perform it with ease, and therefore it can be done for longer and faster than for others for whom it's a weakness. A strength is talent plus skill plus knowledge plus enjoyment. The key components are talent and enjoyment, as these are much more powerful than skill and knowledge, which can be more rapidly learnt. Without talent, it'll never be a strength. And without enjoyment, you're never going to be inspired to do it, and so won't be as fast or as competitive as someone else. But people can be blind to their strengths, high achievers included, partly because they discount them and partly because they're used to focusing on weaknesses. They think that anything that comes easy can't be worth much, and therefore don't necessarily recognize it as a talent. It's human nature to strive to improve oneself, particularly a high achiever, who fears leaving themselves vulnerable to anything or anyone who stands in the way of their success, and so they commonly mistakenly focus their development on fixing their weaknesses. Research shows that there's more headroom for development in areas where people possess natural strengths. Weaknesses remain so. No matter how much effort is put into development, they will never become a strength. That's not to say that weaknesses are to be ignored, rather they should be managed. The strengths approach is key to how I work with my clients to help them become better performers. So the first step in the process is to help them identify their strengths. And this can be done through keeping a log or using strengths assessment tools. Then we use my 5D approach. 1. Do more. So assess how much time they spend using their strengths. Gallup's research found that top performers spend 75% or more of their time using their strengths on a daily basis, versus the average British employee who feels that they can only use their strengths 17% of the time. So we look at any particular strengths that are not being used sufficiently, and how can they increase the time using them. Number 2, do better. Which strengths can be refined and improved, and we explore ways to raise the bar. 3, do differently. Are there any strengths that are not being used in their current role that can be tapped into? Number 4, do less. High achievers frequently overplay their strengths, resulting in these turning into weaknesses, and so we need to work at bringing them back into balance. For example, a high achiever who is a creative thinker might come up with lots of ideas, but never put any into action. Another high achiever might have an eye for detail, and if this strength is overused, this may result in them losing sight of the bigger picture and missing out on opportunities. Number 5, and the last one, ditch. Stop doing activities which weaken them, either that they're hopeless of doing or de-energize them. Look at ways that they can either change their role or take on more things that they're good at, or partner with someone for whom it is a strength. Or if they have to do the activity, then tap into a strength to help them complete it. For example, a high achiever who has a results focus as a strength could use this to help them complete tasks which they find difficult to do. Once the high achievers understood and seen the benefits of this approach, the next step is to help them and their direct reports employ their strengths, and then take it to a team level. It's through leveraging strengths that you can make the whole greater than the sum of the parts.